They're delivering chemo and then lab specimens for an interdepartmental lab. So
I need you when you get into these spaces. I don't like the idea of girl bossing everything up all the way up until like having a woman in position doing really bad things.
Its own benefits and risks.
My God, it's a Rivian. Hey, hi, good morning. It is day one of the Grace Hopper celebration here in Chicago. I am here on Thursday, I believe November 6th. Yes, and I'm really excited for it to be in Chicago. I've never been to this conference before, but I live in Chicago and I saw it was here and I had some time in my schedule, so I figured, why not? What else are we going to do? So I'm going to check out everything that there is to offer. I've got some really cool sessions that I'm like kind of pumped to see. It's exciting that this is in Chicago. We're at McCormick Place, and not that you care, but maybe you care. I come from a union background, and so my family has helped build this building, which it's really cool to always be in a building that your family has had impact on. If you haven't come across my video, hi, I'm Anna. I work in social media. I've been working in social media for over 10 years. I work mostly with tech companies. So I sit kind of on the marketing side of tech. And right now I just started my own design studio and marketing studio. And you know what? We're here to have fun. And you said it can put medical samples.
yeah, so it varies from what the client wants. So for Northwestern, they're delivering specifically infusion medication. So they're delivering chemo, then lab specimens for an interdepartmental lab. So anything from microbiology, immunology, pathology, they're all utilizing Moxie. So the touch base, which is at the bottom here, I'll close this. So really what we're doing is this front LiDAR is just driving around. And as we drive around, it's actually capturing the image of the hospital floor.
Oh.
So when we go on site and start mapping, we're literally just driving Moxie around and it's creating a digital map of the layout of the floor.
That's
and then
cool.
from that, we'll upload that and we'll
My God, it's a Rivian. I'm so excited. So I have a Volkswagen now, but they acquired Rivian, and I do think the next car is going to have to be a Rivian. Not a pickup truck, though. I'm not that kind of lesbian. I love the handles. Now, these pop out, right? Because I have nails, okay? We have nails. And with Tesla, I feel like I'm like crawling. It's the hardest, and it's not accessible for anyone. There you go. See, that was very smooth.
Yeah, I have the front feature.
Oh, so
And I'm gonna unlock it.
that was cool. Also, the team there, really great, really nice. It's big, but from what I'm hearing, it's not as big as last year, which kind of sucks. And there's a lot of reasons for that. I'll probably talk about later. But let's see what else there is, and then I'm gonna get to some sessions. I've only seen one robot so far. So what's up with that, huh? This is like obviously what I'm most excited about is LinkedIn, because I work in social, okay? It's rough right now. You know, we've got Meta doing diabolical things. Twitter is Twitter. And Pinterest is overrun with ads. Pinterest is like arguably the least problematic, but it's becoming filled with AI slop. So, you know. Actually, the least problematic is Blue Sky. So you should get on Blue Sky. I don't know why people are so resistant to blue sky, because it can be a little echo chambery in there, in the same way that Twitter is echo chambery. So, anyways, what else is here? Seems like over here we have like different universities, as well as some foundations, and then over there is like more career stuff. Everything from John Deere to Wells Fargo. Seems Bloomberg is here. So there's quite a few things here. Capital One, Meta, unfortunately. Okay, I've done a couple sessions, including one on accessibility, which I knew nothing about, transparently. I'm not an engineer, not a designer. So learning new things. And now I'm gonna go on a little hike all the way across to like hotel ballroom kind of thing. I don't know. We'll see. There's some stuff over there that I want to see. And yeah, so far it's been pretty good. You know, I think that there's a lot of people. There's a lot of interesting sessions. I've been to other conferences like Lesbian to Tech and stuff like that, and Women Impact Tech. And this one is way bigger and has like just better workshops and like more nuance. I feel like people are really willing to connect and talk here, which I appreciate, like, you know, because that's what networking is kind of about, is just talking to random people. Good morning. It is day 2 of Grace Hopper in Chicago. It's Friday, last day of the conference. Way less crowded.
That's what it is.
I am a tad late. Started at 8. It's like 8:45, but just was like, whew, I'm not used to being all the way downtown. Well, it's not downtown, but all the way, basically just south of the Loop this early, but I'm here. That's what matters. Today, Angelica Ross is speaking, which actually that's the entire reason that I'm here, because I really admire Angelica Ross. She's the founder of Trans Tech Social. She's done a lot of great work in terms of getting trans folks, not only in tech, but just in jobs that are high paying, and giving them job resource skills and that kind of stuff. And her perspective on tech and just being a person in the workplace, I can always really admire, you know. And I like hearing her speak. Anyways, it's a little brain fog this morning. But so I'm really excited for that. You might also know her. She was in Pose. She was Candy. She's been in a couple other things, acting as well. Anyways, let's go see her speak. Let's go meet some more people. And let's have a fun day. I'm a little more casual today than I was yesterday. Still in a heeled boot because it's what I feel good in.
Teams with more women are 15% more likely to innovate and bring breakthrough ideas to market. The numbers say it all. When women lead in tech, everyone wins.
It reminds me, like, not to worry about labels. Don't worry about fitting into whatever picture society has set. Make that picture expand to include you. Dream bigger and aim to be the reason that someone has to come up with an entirely new word to describe your impact. The mindset that can translate, it can't be done, to, it hasn't been done this way yet. Or the mindset that can see opportunities versus seeing dead ends. And it's that mindset and that contradiction that can carry you resiliently through the decades where it feels like nothing is happening in your career, to earning those moments where it feels like decades happen. And I think the toughest part is that a lot of people will never make it there, because they will either let their ego get in the way and they won't be able to mentally recover from the first or the second time that they fail at something, or worse, they'll write off a dream as unrealistic so early on, or they will fear failing so much that they don't even try. But I think if you can get that balance of humility and confidence right, and let it carry you through the ups, the downs, the plateaus, you will eventually be on the other side of your dreams. And then when someone tells you one day that you just got lucky, you can think to yourself, I didn't get lucky, I was just willing to fail more times than you were willing to try. I love it.
I am someone who has had to roll up my sleeves and do everything.
Yeah.
I've had to put my hat, wear these different hats. And I'm glad I did that, because when I take off a hat and hand it to someone, I know how it should be worn. Tilt that bitch to the side a little bit, you know what I mean? I know what to expect in those situations. So for me, I need to know that you're willing to get down and dirty and go beyond what your title is. Like, listen, I get it, we have our responsibilities and what our specific things are, but sometimes things happen, sometimes you have to pivot, and sometimes you have to come out of the box and do this. Oh, can you grab this and run here real quick? Coming for something like that, to silence you, to all these things, what I know is silence is death. So I have always learned to use my voice to speak up, and I always say this, responsibility. To take responsibility for yourself, for your life, for your environment, is to have or cultivate the ability to respond. I know we're in a place right now where people are scared to respond. They don't know how to respond. They don't know what to say. So I need you to start practicing your response, because that is what is the game changer for me, is how we respond. There's so many bad things going on in the world. I'm tired of people pointing fingers, blaming, pointing blame here and there, here. I don't need someone to take blame. I need someone to take responsibility. Take responsibility for the situation. So if you are talking to all the tech giants out there with all this, space and opportunity, if you're really a giant, you can respond differently. I said last year when I was on this stage, we had companies like Shein and Savage Fenty and all this thing, and we want to understand how they're doing their product line and is it all doing all these things, but we don't check when it comes to our tech, where we're getting these products from. Software and hardware has to work together, right? So in that relationship, we need to learn how to respond to each other and stick to our integrity. Do what's right. When you get into these spaces, I don't like the idea of girl bossing everything up, all the way up until like having a woman in position doing really bad things, right?
The end of Grace Hopper here in Chicago. At least it's the end for me. I'm gonna cut out a little bit early. I had a great time. I really did. I met some really wonderful people. I met a lot of really wonderful people, actually. And, I think spaces like this are so real and so rare. And so I feel very just like warm and bubbly after them. And I feel like these kinds of spaces for women in tech, queer people in tech, anyone else who's underrepresented in tech, to just have a space where you can have community. It like fills your cup right back up without sounding like cheesy or whatever, but I do think it's nice because it can be isolating in the workplace. There's like boats and things, sorry, and like birds and like oh my god. But anyways, I am deeply concerned of like the expectations that we are setting for engineers with AI, and the way that we are expecting them to learn new technologies and not giving them the time to play around with them. Because yeah, playing around and learning things costs money, and it's not an upfront return on investment or on value. And in a world where tech companies, I think right now, are very focused on short-sighted quarter-by-quarter growth and revenue, and are just cutting teams to make that happen, or outsourcing jobs to make that happen. I really worry what that does for engineers' ability to feel safe, and that they're not going to wake up tomorrow to their Slack deactivated, or, it's really inhumane to even just see your coworkers slowly become deactivated on Slack and not get to say goodbye. And then it's like, okay, well, who takes over this person's like responsibilities and this and that? And so, if the people building these things are not feeling comfortable, are not being taken care of, are not being given even like maybe the space to feel promoted, or it becomes like, a bloodbath after a layoff, or it becomes like a weird competition, a power grab after a layoff, which I've seen happen. Don't think long term that means good things for the product. I think that means that our infrastructures are going to become weakened. I think that, it's not really fair that not only people within tech are having to subsidize this greed, but just people in general. Like, if if the software at your doctor's office is down because, that provider is under resourcing its engineering teams, you're at like a disservice because of one company's corporate greed, right? And it is just a handful of companies right now that are really controlling the tech space, right? And really, especially with AI. And so it's really scary, and frustrating, and I feel like our leaders, our elected officials, are kind of just letting it happen. I wish more people in the industry were willing to have those conversations, but I also understand it's really hard when you're tied to that. I'm not against AI. For me, transparently, it's changed my workflow. It's really helped me do a lot of different things, crawlers, things like that. And so, but it's the application of AI that makes me I think we need to pause. I think we need to also think about development, who's developing it, making sure that we are not programming and biased towards it, even though we're already doing that. So I don't know, I feel like tech is in such a weird place, and I feel like we gained a little bit of traction in terms of workers in like 2021-ish, and all of that's just been diminished, and it sucks. Anyways, be nice, make cool shit, do the right thing, whatever, I don't know. After school special. Anyways, if you liked this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel also, and be sure to check out my website, honeywhipfeta.com, where I write about sex, tech, life, and style. All right, I'll see you around in the next one. Bye.